to do some setup here.
Let's go.
Tenemos que mover la compu.
¿Está bien?
Ok, sí, ahí lee bien.
¿Me vas a poner el banner que hice en EtherFi?
¿Viste?
¿Ese es el EtherFi?
Sí.
Okay, guys, give me a second, I'll be back.
Ok.
For Mike, CEO of EtherFi. Thank you very much for being here, Mike.
That's cool.
Is this your first time in Argentina?
Yes.
Latam?
Yes, I guess. Well, I was in Brazil last week. I don't know. That's the first time.
¿Tienes que entender?
¿Cómo?
¿Entender? Para cambiar de edad.
No.
Mira.
¿Me tenés que compartir? ¿No me estás compartiendo?
No comparto nada.
Ah.
Solo la cámara.
Ah, ok, estamos con la cámara esta más.
Ah.
Se ve la pantalla, estamos bien.
All right. So, well, we're just gonna have a chat, Mike and I, here. As we mentioned, Ecosystem Day meant to highlight those projects who are, building on this pro ecosystem or powered by this pro ecosystem. And of course, EtherFi has been, a huge one of those as of late. So very nice to be here with you today and to have a little chat with our Latin and Argentinian community where the Latin EtherFi cash is going to boom. Yeah. So very nice to hear from you firsthand and some of your perspectives and what you think, and then we'll open it up for the rest of the people to make some questions. But to get it started, I think it's still important to, for some people, explaining what EtherFi Cash is sometimes a little bit tough for me. So, coming from you, how do we explain to Latam folks what is EtherFi Cash, and how does it solve any of the issues, day-to-day issues?
So EtherFi is building a crypto native neobank. So think like Nubank. I know that's Brazilian, but hopefully people most know what Nubank is. I think Nubank was built on DeFi rails. So it has, if you download the app and you try it out, what you would see is the equivalent of a savings account, ability to invest, deploy your assets in DeFi. and the ability to get a credit card that you can use to actually spend or borrow against your crypto. So really, what we're trying to do is just replace banks. That's the idea.
How does EtherFi staking protocol jump into this whole different market?
Yeah, so the vision actually has been there from almost the very beginning. So the idea, even back in 2023, when we were getting started, was to do exactly this, to build this like, vertically integrated neobank. Staking was always step one for us, and then the idea was to build on top of that. Maybe just a quick show of hands. How many people prior to this moment had heard about EtherFi? Oh, nice. We'll get there. Okay, so most people, and how many people first heard about EtherFi as like this, credit card neobank thing? Okay, so everybody else initially heard about EtherFi as the staking protocol? Okay. Yeah, so we didn't do a very good job, clearly, of communicating that, the longer term vision. Because, most people were kind of surprised and, asked us, what made you pivot? But again, the reality is we actually, for us, it wasn't a pivot. It was like just a sequence of steps, which kind of sometimes happens, like when your first product, like as a business, as a project, when your first product is like more successful than you expect, a lot of people they always just think of you as that first thing, no matter how much time has passed. But I think just by sort of sheer numbers, in terms of numbers of users that new users that have started using EtherFi, most people now have started using EtherFi as this neobank, this crypto neobank. And so I think most people now think of EtherFi as that. That may be different versus like the really crypto native like DeFi community world, where generally you'll be familiar with most crypto projects. But for people that aren't as deep in DeFi, I think they actually mostly think about EtherFi as this neobank thing.
Awesome, and it seems that right now the ongoing narrative seems to be this card product, right? Like spending your crypto, across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately enough, I guess, through socials, we've seen that EtherFi Cash is ranking very up there, if not the best, it's ranking very up there.
Yeah.
Why is that? What makes EtherFi Cash so much different?
There's a million crypto cards out there. I'm sure you guys have used them. I want to ask a question, but I want to frame it without being too leading. Like, if you had to give a score to the average crypto credit card out of 10, what would you give it? Just a show of hands. Okay, well,
yeah.
The question is very open. In which terms do you use it?
Well, okay, so maybe I should have been less. Most crypto cards are really bad. They really suck for all kinds of different reasons. The early ones like Crypto.com and I don't know what there were a bunch of others. They rip you off with crazy fees. You have to spend 2-3% to top it up, another couple percent to if you wanted to withdraw your money. They would force you to stake some shitcoin in order to actually be able to use the product. They had terrible FX fees, bad user support. They were just bad. A lot of cards today will they'll advertise a whatever cashback rate, but then it's just a fucking points program. They'll advertise 0 FX, but really it's actually really bad FX, but they just lie to you. So they're just, most of them are just really bad. That's the first thing. There's one of the reasons for that, one of the reasons crypto cards are mostly really bad is credit card programs are actually a really bad business. You actually don't make any money on the card program. So if the only thing that a company does is have a credit card, that company is going to have to find ways to scam you because they can't make money any other way. You don't make any money really like on interchange, getting all the fees. So they have to find ways of like inserting other fees in order to scam you. Like I don't know, charging you $100 to order a card or something like that. I'm saying these things. Some people are kind of like, suggesting that you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's lots of projects that do all these things. So the reason EtherFi is not bad, I think, is because we actually don't make money on the card program, and we don't try to scam people through the card program because we have this vertically integrated offer. It's a neobank. So where we actually make money is on the staking, a little bit of money on the staking, on the liquid strategy vaults. We run our own lending market like Aave. Like when you use Aave, you actually pay a little bit to Aave in the form of a spread between the interest rates. So we run our own lending market, so we make money that way. So it's all the other stuff that actually makes money, which means we don't have to scam users on like the core value of the product. So that's what we've been successful is because it's actually a good product and it doesn't try to scam you. The reason is because it's much more than just a card program. It's like this vertically integrated. Sweet.
Great, and so it is great, and it has caught a lot of adoption. And I think it was surprising. I think you mentioned that with almost no effort, it just picked up very well in that time. What do you think that is?
It's an interesting question because it really, there was a bunch of reasons, but like it really took off in Brazil, but we've had almost no adoption in Argentina.
Right.
And I don't really understand why, because like it doesn't. In some ways, it actually should work better here, because so I've been using the card, just trying the product everywhere I go, and it just seems to work.
Our cards are so bad. The regular cards are so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. So
that many places don't take credit cards.
Oh,
or they take credit cards, or they will not take cards that are not tied to the bank.
Okay.
So
maybe I've just been lucky.
with a crypto card,
Yeah.
there are lots of things you cannot do here. You
Really?
the logo of Visa or Mastercard or whatever is there.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's the reason, but
Yeah.
it's a very big reason.
Maybe. Yeah, we're definitely going to integrate Mercado Pago. Is that the one? Yeah. So we're definitely going to. In Brazil, we already integrated Pix, and that seems to work like really well. It just works everywhere. But in Brazil, actually, what we know is the card doesn't. There's certain terminals that don't accept it. We're working on that, so that should be solved in a couple of weeks. But that despite of that, it seems to have like really taken off. Partly, I think we just had a bunch of KOLs like promoting it very aggressively. Here, we haven't had any KOLs promote it, but like regardless, as I said, I would have thought there'd be more adoption. But again, it just, in my experience, it actually seems to be like a really good fit.
I could send you several examples from the interior of Argentina that will make you laugh. Because people saying we accept cards, except those that are strange. That means everything that is not Visa, Mastercard, or whatever. And every crypto or even the ones that are tied to the local wallets are not accepted.
But Mercado Pago is everywhere.
Yeah, but probably Mercado Pago will add a sizable amount of bad experience.
Really?
It probably.
Because of fees, or
because of fees. The fees the business owner have with Mercado Pago are high.
Really higher than credit cards.
For example, in Mercado Pago, I don't want to hijack the thing, but
There's
Mercado
exactly
Pago
what we're here for. So
if you go to Mercado Pago and they offer you the QR code paying, which it has an instant confirmation.
Yeah.
People say no, please transfer money, which means that you have to show them the receipt, because paying by QR is like 6% of
6%. Holy shit!
So that's what. Take care of that.
So
Do your research on that, because you may do a great job, and then Mercado Pago may be like very aggressive on their side.
So when people transfer, how do they transfer?
Using bank transfers.
Oh, okay.
With an alias, which is like a name you put to your, similar to Pix, but with not a number.
Yeah.
And that way, the bank system here is holding up, so there is no transaction fee with that. So the business owner receives whatever you send him. Any other form is full of very complex. I mean, the standard business owners say, I don't know how much I will get, so please transfer. Don't do anything. Just
Even even if like you're buying groceries or whatever,
Or in a chain.
yeah, big
Supermarket,
business.
you're going to get it.
Yeah. If you go to Carrefour or big places, they have some sort of, even they have days that you have 10% discount with Mercado Pago.
okay.
But for the rest of the world, it's not Buenos Aires and it's not a big chain. It's usually they say, please transfer.
Huh.
Please don't transfer. If it's money or transfer.
Yeah,
That's it.
this happened to me like 1 hour ago. I was buying some souvenirs in the market, and they don't have any cash, so I'm using PIN and a debit card, a crypto debit card, and
See, that's
no, but
That's a no.
the lady charged me
10%.
10%, 10 to 15% just to use the terminal.
I've been trying to help friends that have several small business to understand which ways of receiving money electronically they can use. And if I explain that today, in a month it's different. I mean, it's changing the contract or whatever you are going to do every week.
Yeah.
So the people say, oh, I don't have time to understand this.
There was this place where you could sell crypto and get some prices, but even there, I mean, if I was doing the math, it was cheaper for me to pay this 10% commission rather than changing crypto for cash and paying her.
interesting.
So yeah, it was.
So there's complexity. Yeah, the homework is much tougher now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
especially between every company. I can assure you.
So there's a huge market and adoption opportunity here, for sure. Especially if there's a pain point, right? So, yeah, definitely a lot of homework for us to do there.
I also think so because I had some troubles 2 days ago with the restaurant here, and I just wanted to pay the account, and the owner said that just accepted the damage. And okay, I don't have a card at the moment, and I just like, okay, how can I pay that? And I thought, okay, I will try to do that. Working so loud.
It did work.
Yeah.
Nice.
EtherFi saved our life.
Nice.
You will be cleaning dishes.
So yeah, so there's complexity, and as we mentioned here, for example, it's not available in Malaysia yet, but it's just imagine like onboarding every single country in the world. EtherFi, I'm sure it'll be tough. So, is there any highlights on like any specific region that was just that you're exploring that it's just tough? You're been able to get there,
Yeah, I mean, India and China are by far
right?
they're obviously like that's half the world, I think,
Right.
combined. And yeah, you can't touch them. Like, just can't do any kind of crypto, any kind of foreign financial stuff. You can't touch those markets. And then there's parts of there's like tons of countries like Vietnam, Netherlands. Like there's a bunch of countries that just are not allowed to operate in. I think Japan is another one. And then other countries like Colombia, for example, we're just like no thank you. We're just
Yes.
they used to work in Colombia. We used to onboard customers, and then we had some very interesting customers starting to come on board. And,
Operates.
yeah, we very quickly turned it off there and said no.
Yeah, that's like the twofold, right? We're bringing too much of a good solution, like
Yeah,
too much of a good solution. Yeah, so no promises made, but yeah, being in the emerging market, I'm also like to co-emerging markets, got it. Any opportunities or evolution there for EtherFi that you see?
Yeah, I mean, I think Latin in general. I mean, both Brazil and Argentina are great. Like, I mean, I hope we can scale to millions of users here. But it's going to require a bunch of work. I mean, we'll probably need to get a licensed here. Probably get a bunch of local partners so that we can actually directly market here and integrate with local, last mile rails. so that we can we can issue products that actually just work everywhere and from the users that need no trouble.
Great, and this fixed integration, definitely a good start. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, I think we just need to. There's a couple more things that we need to fix, but like right now, we don't even have an Android app, which of course, I think that's by far largest market share here. So we need to get an Android app released and fix some stuff so that the card works everywhere. And then I mean, it just becomes like the best way to buy crypto, right? If you like with Pix, it's a 50 basis points, so 0.5% fee to buy USD stablecoins or buy ETH or buy BTC. I mean, that's the cheapest way to buy US dollars in Brazil, right? So just that as a way to like get off of reals into US dollars and then like have something we can use day to day, like that's huge. That alone can get millions of users.
So I'm trying to find your Beam dashboard over metrics, KPIs. Was the EtherFi cash growth expected, or where did you expect it when you launched this product a couple months ago?
It's pretty much on track. I think we were hoping for 40,000 cards by the end of the year. I think we're at like over 50 now, so that's good. We had like 160, 170,000 signups so far. Again, it's pretty good. Spend volume is about 1.5 million a day now, which again is pretty solid for crypto card. I mean, these are still very small numbers in the grand scheme of things. Probably needs to be at least like 10 to 20 times larger before it's sort of more meaningful outside of just a crypto bubble sense. If you're doing at least like 1 billion or 2 billion in transaction volume per year, people like look at you as like a real thing. Whereas if you're on the order of a few hundred million, like small potatoes, basically. And number of cards, you want to be in the hundreds of thousands of active accounts. So again, like we need to be like around 10 to 20x where we are today. But that feels very doable. I mean, as I said, just a little bit more polish on the product, I think we can get there.
Yeah. So what would you say is EtherFi's goal next year, this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, 500,000 to 1 million users, like daily active, like card users.
Is someone recording this? You get 500,000 users.
I mean, yeah, I think it's doable, and yeah, I think we can get this.
Yeah, we're gonna help you. Great. All right. Well, I mean, it was a great chat here. I think overall, EtherFi has been by far a game changer in the ecosystem, in the region. I mean, I am constantly on the ground in Latam. I can tell you firsthand, I mean, like, EtherFi just works, right?
Nice.
And for many countries, it'll be a life changer. Maybe there's smaller countries that you don't hear enough about, where EtherFi is really like doing massive impact. So say for example, out in Honduras, off-ramping is illegal in Honduras through the banking system. So the only way for me to spend my crypto is through EtherFi.
Oh,
So for people who are like heavily or like very deep in crypto, EtherFi has been really a lifesaver. And much more. I know a few people in Honduras who drop banks completely. They're just using EtherFi fully.
Oh wow! Oh, that's
So, and it's not the bigger number, right? But it's smaller countries
No, that's
where
great, yeah.
you guys are doing a bunch of impact and good stuff. So yeah, thank you for being here, chatting with us, setting the tone for what's come to EtherFi. And let's open the floor for some questions.
I do wonder how do you deal with know your customer? Do you have to?
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway,
Sí.
Yeah. Do you have to do it for EtherFi right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like any TradFi product. So to do like staking and the liquid vault deposits, you don't. It's a permissions thing. But to get the credit card specifically, yeah, you gotta.
So you will country by country following up their own rules, right?
Yeah, more or less. It's very region specific.
Do you do any like integrations where, like, for instance, you put it EtherFi and get it, but let's say, and I was saying, like, let's say there was an Argentinian tech startup that, like, let's say, onboarded Argentinian pesos into US tables, and then they wanted to integrate, like, the issuance of an EtherFi card within their tech stack. Is that possible, or they always have to go to EtherFi?
Well, for now, it's just the EtherFi. We are looking at the co-branded kind of card partnerships and integrations, but that's something pretty new. We should have one by the end of this year, actually. Well, in a month. That's announced. But yeah, we're hoping to do a lot more about that.
Sounds interesting. I could see, like, what do you call it, like fully integrated EtherFi cards within whatever local ecosystem, stealing faster for onboarded. Because people have to, like,
as a channel.
go acquire stables and send it to EtherFi and adapt.
Right. Yeah.
You also, before we get, you also mentioned the possibility of mini apps in Twitter.
Yeah, we talked about it. Like, yeah, it just needs to actually make sense, right? But little, we want to open up an API where people can actually build stuff or integrate easily. Yeah, I think we need to get to probably like at least a couple million users before it makes sense for people to do that. Because like right now, this is true of like almost any DeFi app. The user numbers are just so small that like it's just hard to really kind of justify it. You just need to get bigger.
The for all founders out there, that's really good advice from this. A very common theme in EtherFi is working on the product that works.
So something that I know in Latin is people just want to buy digital dollars. It's called stablecoins. So for like everyday people, they just want to save dollars and get some yield. And there are like a million products like that. So if you're going to sell to a person that a fund or whoever wants to buy dollars, how can EtherFi sells different than any other million crypto cards that sell millions?
So it's hard. I don't know exactly what what other products, let's say here, have to offer. But for us, the focus is going to be like really easy onboarding. So from any number of TradFi rails, to just make it really easy to deposit and convert into USD stables, and just have the most complete and easy to use product. Right? If it's something where it's just a simple app, that similar to any other fintech that somebody has used, then I think that ultimately is what's going to make.
Any more questions?
So Neobound started growing fast to Latin America and Hispanic countries. I also Europe. They're taking advantage of the traditional banks. And EtherFi is better. Do you have any strategies to leverage this kind of technology?
To leverage what?
To leverage the new bank narrative.
Yeah, I think in the end, and this isn't in the next 3 months or maybe 6 months, 12 months from now. I think the marketing and go-to-market will start looking like that. In other words, it won't be marketed as a crypto product. It'll just be marketed as a better financial tool, which will be less scary for I think the normal person. Because right now, I think for the average person when they hear crypto, they think scam, they think gambling, it's not something that evokes positive emotions for good reason. So I think it will need to be marketed as just a better financial product, and better in the sense that it'll have higher yields, lower fees, and have much broader kind of global reach.
Well, there's just some time here, so thank you everyone for being by for this one. Thank you very much.
Great. Yeah, thanks, sir.
Who doesn't have an EtherFi cash card? You wanna know why?
I mean,
Physical card.
Well, yeah, try it out. Let me know what you think.
If you don't have one, Gabby has a referral code there for you guys to get some like cool stuff. So sync up with Gabby and she'll set you up with that. All right, let's enjoy some pizza before we. Yeah. Actually, we just I can just wrap it up for us tonight so that we can enjoy the rest of the night. All right, before you guys leave, one second.
Hey, let's go.